From the heart of Wayne County, this is Wayne Goldsboro Television, Goldsboro, North Carolina.
Today's Wednesday. It is the 30th of the month of March 2016. And this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
I'm Pat Garner.
And Kate's on assignment again, so there you go. Anyway, we're here today and we're glad you're there, right? Okay. Anyway, you're there and we're here and glad you are where you are. And we're glad we're where we are. Yeah. Anyway, got a program for you today. I've got a trivia question in a little while, and I've got yesterday's trivia question answer for you from yesterday. We'll look at birthdays here in just a moment, but first of all, it's time for Center Street Jam, woohoo, again. Center Street Jam getting underway April 21st. The Mighty Saints of Soul are going to be in town, and they're going to be over here at the parking lot between Center Street and John Street. They're going to be behind the Oddfellows building, right across from Torero's. And everything kind of kicks off around 6 p.m. and it goes till about 9 o'clock. And it's a great evening of fun and entertainment. Again, in the umpteenth year, they've been doing this a long time now. It's the Center Street Jam 2016 edition, kicking off on April 21st at 6 p.m. Mighty Saints of Soul in town. Well, a couple of them live here. But anyway, Center Stage Theater presenting Fiddler on the Roof. If I were a rich man, la 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 la, no, never mind. Anyway, that's April 29th through May 1st. April 29th through May 1st. Fiddler on the Roof. It's a wonderful musical. You'll enjoy that. It's at the Paramount Theater. Tickets are $15 to $18, depending on where you're seated. And if you want information about that, you can call 919-583-8432. The Paramount Theater. Go online, GoldsboroParamount.com. And the first annual Center Street Car Show getting underway April 30th, a month from today at the Wayne County Cruisers and Southeastern AACA chapter. Excited to present the North Carolina Region Spring Meet and Center Street Car Show. Begins at 9 o'clock on the 30th of April. Okay? Information about that can be found at WayneCountyCruisers.com. WayneCountyCruisers.com. Do you have anything over there, ma'am?
Yes, do not forget about the Friends of the Library book sale tonight from 9 to 5.
Today.
Today,
right?
yes, today for 9 to 5, sorry.
The Friends were there last night.
Yes.
Right, the Friends were there last night, and it was a closed session for them. Today, it's open to the public, right?
That's correct.
All right, open to the public today. All right. For birthdays today, here's what we have so far. We've got the 30th. Will be Peter Marshall, the game show host. He's 90. John Aston, the star of the Addams Family. You don't remember the Addams Family, do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, he's having a birthday. He's 86 today. Warren Beatty, 79 today. A birthday today for Paul Reiser. Mad About You?
No.
Remember that show?
No.
Okay, he's 59 today. And Bill Dwyer, the game show host, is 54 today. All right, let's go to our interview. We'll be back in just a moment. Our guest today from the University of Mount Olive is Professor of Music, Mr. Alan Armstrong. Sir, great to have you back. How you been doing?
I've been doing well.
That's good. Yeah. Well, good to have you back in here.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Now, first of all, I want to ask you, first of all, how long have you been at the university?
It'll be 20 years.
Wow.
This is my 20th anniversary.
Long time.
Yeah.
That is just great. And you are the professor of music. You've seen a lot of things change over the past few years.
Absolutely.
A lot of change.
Yeah.
Tell me about the music department.
Well, we're in our own building now.
I know.
Yeah, we're in the old high school, and the whole first floor was renovated to make it a nice, state-of-the-art music building, and we're really excited to be there. And we even have a walkway from the students on campus to walk to our area, which makes it much faster for them.
That's nice.
And a part of the building is also apartments, and so a lot of the music students are housed there, which makes it very convenient for them because they can practice right in the same facility where they're living.
That's right. And it's an amazing facility.
Yeah.
Just everything you need is right there.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
All kinds of, you could walk by at any time and you can hear all kinds of music,
Yes.
different instruments, bagpipes.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes, dancing, singing, just
Yeah,
a little bit of everything.
everything.
Going
Yeah,
on. Well,
yeah.
it's a great venue.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, what's going on? What's going on?
Well, you know, April is always a big month for us, and I call it the music of Thursdays because every Thursday it seems we've got something going on. I want to talk about those. But our first event coming up is on the 31st and the 1st. I'm sorry, April 1st and 2nd. April 1st and 2nd.
April 1st and 2nd. That's a Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, we're doing the Engelbert Humperdinck's opera Hansel and Gretel.
Right.
The cast is are made up of all students, and it's going to be fully staged, costumed, and lighted in the whole 9 yards. And it's in English, so nobody has to worry about not knowing what's going on.
Right.
And my daughter is a teacher at Dillard, and she's going to bring her whole class to see it. And that's what we like to encourage the parents to bring their students out, especially on Saturday afternoon, because Saturday will be a matinee at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
At 3.
And Friday night will be at 7:30.
Okay.
It's free. Of course, it's open to the public, and this will be a great thing for grandparents and parents to bring their children to, because it's the good old story of Hansel and Gretel and the witch.
Right.
You know, so the gingerbread kids
So
and all that.
they left the breadcrumbs and then got lost and,
absolutely,
and then ended up in a little house. And
right. They end up with the witch's gingerbread house,
Yes.
and they try to eat the house, and the witch decides she wants to eat them.
And I think everybody knows the story, or perhaps they've forgotten the story, but that's the story.
Yeah.
But I do want to make a point. This is not the Engelbert Humperdinck, the pop singer. This is the Engelbert Humperdinck who's no longer living.
That's right.
He's been gone quite a while.
Engelbert Humperdinck, the singer, picked his name from the composer. Actually, the guy who mentors him did that, but he decided he'd do it. So.
Yeah, his name was Dorsey, I believe.
Yeah,
Arnold
like
Dorsey.
Yeah.
But anyway, besides all that, but Hansel and Gretel.
Right. And then,
fable.
then, like I said, Thursdays are a big day for us on performances.
All right, what else we got?
On April the 7th, my group, Free Spirit, that I've been directing for 20 years, it's our 20th anniversary concert.
Wow.
So we're really excited about that.
Oh, that's great.
Again, that's a Thursday, and it's 7:30, and all of these events take place in the Carnegie Assembly Hall.
Okay.
The old auditorium.
Yeah.
So all they have to do is go to the old high school and climb up those front steps, and they're right there in the auditorium. So
I love that auditorium.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
It's been renovated so beautifully, and the acoustics are wonderful.
Yes.
But Free Spirit is my Christian ensemble, and they've been in existence for 20 years.
20
and so
years now. It's hard to
that's
believe.
our concert is going to be on
What
on
time
the
does it start, Al?
7:30. In fact, all these events, except for that one matinee, start at 7:30.
7:30.
We try to keep it simple, so everybody knows
Be
when
consistent,
the time
so
starts.
it's easier
right.
to remember that way.
Right.
Okay.
And then on the following Thursday
Right.
is the 14th of April, and that is our honor band concert. And
Oh.
what Dr. Ford, our band director, has done is invite the top players from the high schools to join our band
sure.
that night. And there'll be all kinds of music featuring a full stage full of high school students performing with our band. So that should be I'm going to be playing the piano on one of the pieces they're doing. It's called The Train. And it sounds exactly like a train going down the road and down a track. And it's really a cool piece for piano and the band, and very realistic sounding. Then the following Thursday is the 21st, and our choir is presenting Antonio Vivaldi's Gloria that night, which is a very famous piece.
Yeah.
And that's going to be with orchestra and the choir. So that should be quite a nice classical evening. That I know a lot of people enjoy that kind of music. And
I love Vivaldi.
Vivaldi is a great composer. And the Gloria, I mean, especially this time of the year with spring and Easter and everything, it's just a wonderful time to do that.
It is recognizable. If you hear it, you know it.
Absolutely, they'd recognize it, exactly. And then our last concert of the year is the Jazz Band concert, which is on April 28th.
Ooh.
And that's always a really exciting night.
A lot of fun.
Jazz. So we got a lot of stuff going on.
Gee, you do.
And we're all busy, preparing for all this.
All right. And
but
the first event that we were talking about is this one,
Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel on April 1st and 2nd.
Yep.
The 2nd is a Saturday, and that's a 3 p.m. matinee, and that's when you're encouraging, and it would be easier for the youngsters to come out from schools.
Exactly right.
And all that.
Yes.
All right.
So.
And they're all free.
It's all free.
All free.
Open to the public. You couldn't do that in New York.
No, you couldn't, could you? Who'd want to be in New York? I don't. Anyway. So what else we got? Anything else going on?
I think that's
That's
plenty
a lot
right now.
For right now, yeah. That's
Right,
all.
yeah.
That's all I can
Yeah.
handle right now.
Yeah,
But Alan
yeah.
Armstrong of the University of Mount Olive, I thank you very much for being with us,
You're welcome.
sir.
It's good to be here.
Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Today we're at the Wayne County Public Library, and Donna Phillips, director here. Donna, we've been entertained, if you will, by several people, local folks, who have come in to let's start this whole thing over again in 5,
Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. Today we're at the Wayne County Public Library talking with director Donna Phillips. And Donna, this is Poetry Month, I believe.
It is. April is National Poetry Month.
And as a result of that, you have asked several people to come in and read their favorite poems.
That's right. This year, Wayne County Reads' theme is poetry. We're calling Wayne County Reads project this year Passionate for Poetry.
Oh, boy.
And so what better way than to invite the community to come out the whole month of April and to share a poem that they're passionate about.
Wonderful. Let's get an example right now.
I'm Gary Barefoot, librarian emeritus at University of Mount Olive, and I currently am curator of the Free Will Baptist Historical Collection there. Work there for 3 days a week. I want to read a poem today by James Weldon Johnson, which comes from his collection of poems, God's Trombones. And these poems really are based on inspirational sermons of the old-time black preachers who are set down to poetry. And Mr. Johnson tells in his preface to this book of hearing these same themes treated by famous preachers in his youth. Some of the sermons are still current, and like the spirituals, they have a significant place in black folk material. The poet has not only given them a form in which they will survive, he's transmuted their essence into original and moving poetry. James Weldon Johnson died in 1938, the year before I was born. When I was introduced to this book of poetry, it became one of my favorites. And the one I'm going to read today is Go Down Death. And it was mentioned by H.L. Mencken, calls it one of the most remarkable and moving poems of its type ever written in America. And the poem is entitled Go Down Death, a Funeral Sermon. Weep not, weep not. She is not dead. She's resting in the bosom of Jesus. Heartbroken husband, weep no more. Grief-stricken son, weep no more. Left lonesome daughter, weep no more. She's only just gone home. Day before yesterday morning, God was looking down from his great high heaven, looking down on all his children, and his eye fell on Sister Caroline, tossing on her bed of pain, and God's big heart was touched with pity, with the everlasting pity. And God sat back on his throne, and he commanded that tall, bright angel standing at his right hand, "Call me Death." And that tall, bright angel cried in a voice that broke like a clap of thunder, "Call death, call death." And the echo sounded down the streets of heaven till it reached way back to that shadowy place where death waits with his pale white horse. And death heard the summons, and he leaped on his fastest horse, pale as a sheet in the moonlight. Up the golden street death galloped, and the hoofs of his horse struck fire from the gold. But they didn't make no sound. Up death rode to the great white throne and waited for God's command. And God said, "Go down, death. Go down to Savannah, Georgia, down in Yamacraw, and find Sister Caroline. She's borne the burden and heat of the day. She's labored long in my vineyard, and she's tired. She's weary. Go down, death, and bring her to me." And death didn't say a word, but he loosed the reins on his pale white horse, And he clamped the spurs to his bloodless sides, and out and down he rode, through the heaven's pearly gates, past suns and moons and stars, on death rode, and the foam from his horse was like a comet in the sky. On death rode, leaving the lightning's flash behind, straight on down he came. And while we were watching round her bed, she turned her eyes and looked away. She saw what we couldn't see. She saw old death. She saw old death coming like a falling star. But death didn't frighten Sister Caroline. He looked to her like a welcome friend, and she whispered to us, "I'm going home," and she smiled and closed her eyes. And death took her up like a baby and laid her in his icy arms, but she didn't feel no chill. And death began to ride again, up beyond the evening star, out beyond the morning star, into the glittering light of glory, on to the great white throne. And there he laid Sister Caroline on the loving breast of Jesus. And Jesus took his own hand and wiped away her tears, and he smoothed the furrows from her face, and the angels sang a little song, and Jesus rocked her in his arms and kept saying, "Take your rest, take your rest, take your rest. Weep not, she is not dead. She's resting in the bosom of Jesus." Amen.
I'm Dave Meador. I'm a retired forester, and I want to tell you about Mr. Robert Service and a fellow named Sam McGee. Robert William Service lived from 1874 to 1958. He was a British Canadian poet who often has been called the Bard of the Yukon. He is best known for his poems, The Shooting of Dan McGrew and The Cremation of Sam McGee, from his book Songs of a Sourdough, also published as The Spell of the Yukon and Other Verses. His vivid descriptions of the Yukon and its people made it seem that he was a veteran of the Klondike Gold Rush instead of the late arriving bank clerk that he actually was. These humorous tales in verse were considered doggerel by the literary set, and yet remain extremely popular to this day. Robert Service wrote the most commercially successful poetry of the 20th century. He himself did not call his work poetry. Verse, not poetry, is what I was after. Something the man in the street could take notice of. And yet I never wrote to please anyone but myself. It just happened. I belong to the simple folks whom I like to please. The Cremation of Sam McGee by Robert Service. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge that I cremated Sam McGee. Now, Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the South to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him like a spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd sooner live in hell. On Christmas Day, we were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. And talk of your cold, through the parka's fold it stabbed like a driven nail. If our eyes would close, then the lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, and the dogs were fed, and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel and toe, he turned to me and, "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking that you won't refuse my last request." Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. And then he says with a sort of moan, "It's the cursed cold, and it's got right hold till I'm chilled clean through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. So I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on at the streak of dawn, but God, he looked ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee, and before nightfall a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried horror driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate those last remains." Now, a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies, round in a ring, howled out their woes to the homeless snows, oh God, I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow, and on I went, though the dogs were spent and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I felt half mad, but I swore I would not give in. And I'd often sing to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I came to the marge of Lake LaBarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, but I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I, with a sudden cry, is my crematorium. Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. And some coal I found that was lying around, and I heaped the fuel higher. I burrowed a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I made a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. And it was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I don't know why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and they danced about ere I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, and the time I looked, then the door I opened wide. And there sat Sam, looking cool and calm in the heart of the furnace roar, and he wore a smile you could see a mile, and he said, please close that door. It's fine in here, but I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time that I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who moil for gold, and heartache trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake LaBarge, and I cremated Sam McGee.
We're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television. Here's the answer to today's, or yesterday's trivia question. Actually, yesterday's question, because we ran out of time. Gee whiz, what was the question? The question was, who portrayed Marvel's vampire hunter Blade in 3 movies from 98 to 04? His name was Wesley Snipes. Wesley Snipes, the movie star, actor kind of guy. Right?
Nope.
Okay. I thought it was, but it was. And here's today's trivia question. You ready for this one? Did I just fall asleep?
Anytime now.
Okay, anytime now. Okay. Okay, another movie question. In the 1979 film Time After Time.
That's a song, ain't it?
It is a song. That's an oldie. How do you know that? Okay, well, it is a song. In the 1979 film Time After Time, tells the story of what writer pursuing Jack the Ripper into present-day San Francisco. This was all make-believe, of course, but there was a famous writer who was supposedly chasing Jack the Ripper into San Francisco. Now, this would have been a famous writer from, say, from the late 19th century, the 1800s, into late 1800s. A very famous writer. Very famous writer. Who, and that's what the movie was about, Time After Time. Was about this guy chasing Jack the Ripper into San Francisco. Who was the main character? Okay, that's it. I'll tell you in a few minutes. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we've got April 2nd coming up, which is this Saturday. This Saturday, the EOD Memorial 5K race. It's held annually as a salute to the fallen EOD warriors who've made the ultimate sacrifice. It's at Walnut Creek Village starting at 8 o'clock. The fee is $25. And if you want information, you can go to eodwarriorfoundation.org. eodwarriorfoundation.org. All right? Then on the 7th of April, that's a Thursday, next Thursday, at 6 o'clock, at Stony Creek Rugged Crawl, it's called. The Stony Creek Rugged Crawl is from Elm Street to Slocum Backwoods. So be ready and wear boots. They're going to all meet at the corner of East Elm and Stony Creek Parkway. It's a lovely part of the Mountains to the Sea Trail. Yeah, we're very fortunate to have that. That's really a nice trail through there. Anyway, all this is part of the Go Wayne Go walk. Okay? All right, and if you have any questions, you can go to gowaynego.org. That works?
Yay.
Ma'am, what have you there?
Wayne County ODS is looking for full and part-time paramedics. You can apply at the Wayne County Human Resource Office at John Street, or you can go to waynegov.com.
That works.
And go to the Human Resource Department.
Yes, coming up on April 5th, the new Goldsboro Event Center, used to be the Goldsboro Country Club, but now the new Event Center, will have an open house event, special open house event on April 5th from 5 till 7 p.m. That's a Tuesday evening. Program begins at 5:30 p.m. Now, this venue now offering a variety of meeting places, meeting spaces, most notably for banquets and weddings and seminars and celebrations and expositions. Anyway, they have refurbished it. It is a beautiful location and venue. If you will, contact the City of Goldsboro for more information about this. Goldsboro, in fact, I think this comes under Sherry Archibald's umbrella. So you can reach Sherry at 583-8432, 919-583-8432. There you go. Oh boy, April 15th, save the date, Have a Heart for Kids. Sponsored by the Communities in Schools organization on April 15th at 6 p.m. at the Terrace Room in downtown Goldsboro with spirits and sparkles and hors d'oeuvres and entertainment of all kinds. A fun evening, a nice evening, a silent auction and a raffle going to be taking place. And it's $30 per person, $60 per couple. Checks may be mailed in advance to CIS, Communities in Schools, 308 North William Street in Goldsboro. All right, and if you want information, I do believe you could call. Actually, you get information as well by going to S. Bennett at ciswayne.org, because I don't have a phone number for him, right? Okay. Okay. Okay, go away. Okie dokie. We've got, what is this? Oh, that's, okay, that's the wrong month. Whee! Okay, what do we have here? Jesus. More stuff. Oh, Eggs and Issues. One of my favorite events coming up at 8 o'clock at Lane Tree Conference Center. And this will be on a Friday morning, April 8th, a week from this Friday, with Senator Don Davis and Senator Lewis Pate in attendance, as well as Representatives Jimmy Dixon, John Bell, and Larry Bell as well, all in attendance at this event. Now, this is Representative John Bell. Chamber members, $15, and non-members, $25. It all begins at 8 o'clock, and you can call or contact the Chamber of Commerce of Wayne County to get more information about this. 919-734-2241, 734-2241. Okay. Trivia question. What was the question? The question was, in the 1979 film, Time After Time, it tells the story of what writer, what author if you will, pursuing Jack the Ripper into present-day San Francisco. Now, this is a very famous author from the late 1800s. Not a clue. Primarily known for his science fiction writing. Primarily. His name, the character noted in this movie, Time After Time, his name is H.G. Wells. Ta-da! Science fiction writer. Okay, never mind. H.G. Wells. The movie Time After Time, 1979. It's time to go.
Okay,
Oh, is that okay?
that's okay.
We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Hope you're able to join us at that time. If not, you can join us at noon or at 5:30 p.m. We repeat the show during the day. So until then, until tomorrow, which is Thursday, right?
Yes.
Okay, until tomorrow, which is Thursday, my name is Wayne Alley,
And I'm Pat Garner.
and this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I forgot where I was.